Today is September 16th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are going to continue Chapter 5, How It Works. We'll be reading page 65. Out of the 12 and 12, we are going to read a little bit more about Step 10 by reading page 91, and we will read today's daily reflection and 24 hours a day. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. Once again, we've been given a brand new set of 24 hours. We're alive today. And anytime there's life, there's hope. So with that, let's get started. So in yesterday's reading, we finished up our talk with Step 3, and now we are moving on to Step 4, the moral inventory. And there's going to be a breakdown of it on page 65. On our grudge list, we set opposite each other our injuries. Was it our self-esteem, our security, our ambitions, our personal or sex relations, which had been interfered with? We were usually as definite as this example. I am resentful at Mr. Brown. The cause? His attention to my wife. Told my wife of my mistress. Brown may get my job at the office. This affects my sex relations. I'm resentful at Mrs. Jones. She's a nut. She snubbed me. She committed her husband for drinking. He's my friend. She's a gossip. This affects my personal relationship and my self-esteem, which is fear. I'm resentful at my employer. The cause? He's unreasonable, unjust, overbearing, threatens to fire me for drinking and padding my expense account. This affects my self-esteem, my fear, and security. I am resentful at my wife. The cause? She misunderstands and nags. She likes Brown. Wants to have the house put in her name. This affects my pride, my personal sex relations, security, fear. We went back through our lives. Nothing counted but thoroughness and honesty. When we were finished, we considered it carefully. The first thing apparent was that this world and its people were often quite wrong. To conclude that others were wrong was as far as most of us ever got. The usual outcome was that people continued to wrong us and we stayed sore. Sometimes there was remorse, and then we were sore at ourselves. But the more we fought and tried to have our own way, the worse matters got. As in war, the victor only seemed to win. Our moments of triumph were short-lived. Out of the 12 and 12 run, Step 10. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Page 91. In all these situations, we need self-restraint, honest analysis of what is involved, a willingness to admit when the fault is ours, and an equal willingness to forgive when the fault is elsewhere. We need not be discouraged when we fall into the error of our old ways, for these disciplines are not easy. We shall look for progress, not for perfection. Our first objective will be the development of self-restraint. This carries a top priority rating. When we speak or act hastily or rashly, the ability to be fair-minded and tolerant evaporates on the spot. One unkind tirade or one willful snap judgment can ruin our relation with another person for the whole day or maybe a whole year. Nothing pays off like restraint of tongue and pen. We must avoid quick-tempered criticism and furious, power-driven argument. The same goes for sulking or silent scorn. These are emotional booby traps baited with pride and vengefulness. Our first job is to sidestep the traps. When we are tempted by the bait, we should train ourselves to step back and think. For we can neither think nor act to good purpose until the habit of self-restraint has become automatic. Disagreeable or unexpected problems are not the only ones that call for self-control. We must be quite as careful when we begin to achieve some measure of importance and material success. For no people have ever loved personal triumphs more than we have loved them. We drank of success as of wine, which could never fail to make us feel elated. When temporary good fortune came our way, we indulged ourselves in fantasies of still greater victories over people and circumstances. Thus, blinded by prideful self-confidence, we were apt to play the big shot. Of course, people turned away from us, bored or hurt. Daily Reflection, September 16th. We stand or fall together. No society of men and women ever had more urgent need for continuous, effective, and permanent unity. We alcoholics see that we must work together and hang together, else most of us will finally die alone. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 561. Just as the 12 steps of AA are written in a specific sequence for a reason, so it is with the 12 traditions. The first step in the first tradition attempt to instill in me enough humility to allow me a chance at survival. Together they are the basic foundation upon which the steps and traditions that follow are built. It is a process of ego deflation, which allows me to grow as an individual through the steps, and as a contributing member of a group through the traditions. Full acceptance of the first tradition allows me to set aside personal ambitions, fears, and anger when they are in conflict with the common good, thus permitting me to work with others for our mutual survival. Without Tradition 1, I stand little chance of maintaining the unity required to work with others effectively. And I also stand to lose the remaining traditions, fellowship, and my life. "24 hours a day, September 16th. AA Thought for the Day. Today, let us begin a short study of the 12 suggested steps of AA. These 12 suggested steps seem to embody 5 principles. The first step is the membership requirement step. The second, third, and 11th steps are the spiritual steps of the program. The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 10th steps are personal inventory steps. The 8th and 9th steps are the restitution steps. The 12th step is the passing on of the program, or helping others, step. So the 5 principles are membership requirement, spiritual basis, personal inventory, restitution, and helping others. Have I made all these steps a part of me? Meditation for the day. We seem to live not only in time, but also in eternity. If we abide with God and He abides with us, we may bring forth spiritual fruit which will last for an eternity. If we live with God, our lives can flow as some calm river through the dry land of earth. This can cause the trees and flowers of the spiritual life, love and service, to spring forth and yield abundantly. Spiritual work may be done for eternity, not just for now. Even here on earth, we can live as though our real lives were eternal. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may try to make my life look like a cool river in a thirsty land. I pray that I may give freely to all who ask my help. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading, and I know we're right up on about 10 minutes. I'll make this pretty quick. First of all, I love the breakdown of the 4-step inventory in the big book. It's basically not a, hey, let's make a list of all the things we've done wrong kind of list. It's just an inventory. This is what's going on in my life. These are the people I might be resentful at. This is the cause of my resentment. And then the third column, this is what affects my security, or this is what affects my personality. But I also heard from some friends in the fellowships, that for every negative thing that we might write down, also list a positive. This is not a list to beat yourself up. It's just a list to hopefully reveal the root causes of a lot of these issues, these resentments. See, the resentment surface level, but what it's affecting might be my pride or my ego, which again, even deeper than that, is fear. So when I slow down and I get way down to the root cause of my resentment and my anger or my insecurity, it's all fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of not being safe, whatever it might be, but it's a version of fear. And honestly, until I worked the steps, I didn't realize how fearful I really was. That was very eye-opening. But I'll be honest with you, when I first did step 4, I was only focusing on the things I did wrong. And then all of a sudden here would come the self-loathing. Oh man, when I put this down on paper, this makes me feel worse. But again, if I had put down some of the positive things I had done, maybe I would realize I'm not completely a nut. But by doing the 4th step, it really opened my eyes, again, to how fearful I was. And on the other side of that, in sobriety, by practicing these principles every day, and it's taken a lot of time, a lot of reps, that fear has melted away. And anytime I start to get fearful, I stop and pray about it, and then I find out the root cause of why I'm fearful. Pray about that, and get back up and pour myself into helping others even more. And out of the 12 and 12, man, I absolutely love today's reading. Just taking that pause. We need self-restraint, honest analysis of what is involved, a willingness to admit when the fault is ours, and a unique willingness to forgive when the fault is elsewhere. But I love this line right here. We need not be discouraged when we fall into the error of our old ways. Because it's going to happen, Rob. For these disciplines are not easy. We shall look for progress, not perfection. This is a lifetime thing. And when we mess up, we don't beat ourselves up. We get right back on it. View ourselves like we would view one of our close friends who might mess up. We wouldn't abandon our close friend. I would look at him and say, dude, you're human. The important thing is to get back up and keep trying. But what if I took that and looked in the mirror and said the same thing? Look for progress, not perfection. So with that, my friends, I've rambled on enough. I hope you have a great day today. As always, I don't speak on behalf of the AA or NA or Al-Anon or any other sect or denomination. I'm just a guy. I'm just a friend in this lifeboat of recovery. And if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.